dimming the music just a little bit? Thank you so much. My name is Sean Skeet. I'm the chair of the ensemble department here at Berklee College of Music, and I'm so excited to see these faces to celebrate somebody that is very special to us and has contributed greatly to this community. So I just want to say welcome to our guests, welcome to all our friends, the students, and those of you who have made the effort to be here to celebrate. So we have a full program this evening to celebrate Lenny Stallworth, so I'm not gonna talk too much. We'll have opportunity to chat a little bit more later. So I'd like to welcome to the stage some friends and colleagues of Lenny that have played with him for quite some time. Dr. Bill Banfield and Chair of Jazz Comp and Harmony, George Russell.
Thank you, Sean. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all. Good to see Sharon and the boys. I'm sorry, men. Sorry. What a special night for a special, special guy. Lenny meant a lot to all of us. And I just want to share, before we play a piece of music, I'd like to share just a couple special moments that I had with Lenny. And some were personal, some were musical. A really cool musical moment I shared with Lenny. We were in probably my favorite concert of all time together. We did a concert with George Duke. And it wasn't just because it was with George Duke, which was awesome, but it also included like this great rhythm section of Terry Lynn Carrington and David Gilmour and Lenny and Winston McCoo, and then all the great singers at Berklee, like Donna McElroy, Armstead Christian, and Gabrielle Goodman, and Jeff Ramsey, and Karen Bell, all these people. And we had a few rehearsals, and that concert was probably my favorite concert I ever had at Berklee. And Lenny was right there with me. As a matter of fact, there was a picture up there where it was me, him, and George Duke in the picture, and it just reminded me of that. Another really, really special musical moment I had with Lenny is him and I did a little tour that took us to Taipei. And I'm kind of an extrovert, okay? And as an extrovert, you need your downtime. I needs my downtime, right? So we're going to Taipei, and oftentimes when I'm traveling out of the country, that's a perfect downtime. And if I'm traveling like with a crew, like a band or something like that, I'm always thinking, okay, don't put me with anybody. Don't let me sit with anybody because I want to have my downtime. Thank you. I want to have my downtime. So, we're all in line. And I look, and Lenny's sitting right next to me. And I love Lenny, but I was thinking, I need my right. Well, what happened was Lenny and I sat there and talked for 12 hours straight. And I enjoyed every minute of it. We talked about our families and talked about our wives and our children, and it was awesome. It was so awesome that I lost a full year of my life. You're saying to yourself, self, what is he talking about? That's what you said to yourself, right? So let me tell you what I'm talking about. We left the States on August the 25th, okay, around 11 o'clock. My birthday is August 26th. We landed in Taipei, it was August 27th. My birthday did not happen. So instead of me being 32, I'm only 31 now. Okay, but that's a true story. I didn't get to have my birthday that year, and it was all because I sat next to Lenny. So, and a couple of personal moments that I had that were really special to me. On that plane, we were talking about, our families and everything like that. And, of course, we talked about our kids, and we both loved our family and our kids. And the first semester, my son was a student here. And he'll probably share a little bit more about his relationship with Lenny, because he was in Lenny's P-Funk ensemble for like 5 or 6 semesters and went to Mississippi with him and all that. But my first semester, he was in school. Lenny saw me down the hall. He goes, George, I didn't know. And I didn't know what he was talking about. But what he was talking about was My son was in his class for like almost the whole semester, and he didn't realize it was my son. And, never mind the fact that we have the same name, but it never dawned on him. He goes, man, you did good, man. I love that dude. And I was touched because of how we talked about our families together. And I was touched because that was my son, and they went on to become like very, very close. And I just watched the relationship and how he, for lack of a better word, ministered and mentored my son during his time here. So I am forever grateful to Lenny. Thank you, Sharon, for lending us Lenny those many years. He blessed us. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to turn the microphone over to my dear friend, Bill and Lenny and Kenward Denard and Stan. We were all in this band. I'm sure Bill will talk about that a little bit. So you got two minutes.
Thank you, my dear brother. How's everyone this evening? Welcome. Lenny, George, Kenwood Denard, Stan Strickland, and myself formed the baddest band in Boston in 2006. It was, and it still is. It was called WGBKLS, and we started a Monday night jam session every Monday night at Daryl's that's still running for over a decade now.
Bob the Chefs.
What's called Bob the Chef's, now it's called Daryl's, and probably called Nia's now since she's the new owner. We moved that to being the open house band, the opening house band actually, at the Beehive for 2 years and more, and then moved to Scullers regularly. That band was later joined by Jonathan Singleton, Joey Blake, Annette Phillip, Grace Kelly, and others. And we traveled with Lenny to Mississippi with students. We went to museums, we played. We went to New Hampshire. We went to Minneapolis. We did jazz concerts and cultural arts centers and recordings. And in the concert you see behind us with not only George Duke, but with Ernie Isley right here on this stage. I've never known a finer bass player extraordinaire than Lenny Stallworth. Absolutely a virtuoso in craft and spirit. And I love him and we love him dearly. And we miss him dearly. Musicians can never replace other musicians. We just have to kind of go on living without those notes in our lives, but we play on. And so we are happy that you're here to celebrate Lenny and that artistry and the camaraderie we had with him. And we're so very, very honored and happy to have you, Sharon, and the sons and the family here. And this is for you all and for Lenny, so we thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, George and Dr. Banfield, for joining us this evening and for sharing with us and for helping us to celebrate Lenny. My name is Danielle Scott. I'm the assistant chair of the ensemble department. And right now we're going to have a few special people share remarks about Lenny from the performance division. We're going to start with the dean of the performance division, Ron Savage.
Thank you, Danielle. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ron Savage, and I do bring greetings from the senior leadership here at the college. And also, I'd like to share my condolences to everyone in the room who cared deeply about Lenny, because we certainly miss him. I first met Lenny about close to 40 years ago, actually, after he had come to Boston from down south, and we hit it off pretty quickly because we're both sons of the South. So, you know, if you're from the South or if you know people from the South, there's a certain mindset that comes along with how you get to know people, how you socialize people, how you greet people, how you approach making music with people. It really is something that's pretty unique to the South. So we hit off pretty good right away. And the truth is, you know, all the pictures up there that I saw showed him playing electric bass, but when I first met Lenny and we first played, it was always playing jazz, and he was playing acoustic bass, so maybe I knew a little bit about that side of him. We played in a trio with Alain Millet. We traveled one time to Guadeloupe with Jacques Schwarzbach, Anthony Wansley. We had a great trip. And then we convinced Lenny to join us here at the college. And he certainly was an asset and a huge contributor to the college. And Lenny was a truth teller about music. That's one thing I loved about him. You know, he didn't cut any corners when it came to what music was supposed to be and what it was supposed to mean and how you were supposed to do it. And so I always appreciated that we could talk about groups like Enchantment and Mandrill and Crown Heights Affair and Fatback Band and groups like that you didn't hear that much about anymore, but he was certainly an expert on all that music, so I enjoyed speaking with him. One of the endeavors that Lenny took over when he was here is he began leading our trip to Mississippi. And it was a trip where students would go down south and they would kind of go through the blues trail and learn about blues and the roots of African American music and American music. And it was something that he really took to heart and he really took seriously and was a great benefit to our students. So I don't want to talk long, but I do want to say this because I think it's important, and I just got this news, and that is that from here on, that trip to Mississippi, which awards 2 scholarships for students to come to Berklee, will be dedicated in Lenny's name. And the scholarships will be called the Lenny Stallworth Mississippi Scholarship. So I'm happy that I can bring that news to you. I'm happy for the family. I'm happy that we can keep his memory alive, honor his musicianship, and honor his contributions to the school. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
I'm really excited to hear about that scholarship. And hey, so I just want to make sure I mention that Lenny's family is here, Sharon and Alex and David, and I see some others, and I just wanted to acknowledge them. You know, Lenny has been a great friend to me, and we first started in Berklee together in 2003. Myself, Rebecca Klein, Marty Walsh. The 4 of us started as a set, teaching the level 1 ensembles. But prior to that, 10 years, maybe 10 or 12 years prior to that, it was the first time I stepped into Wally's, maybe 91, somewhere around there. And in the back of Wally's, I heard this bass line to Stevie Wonder, All I Do. I'm like, okay. that? What's going on? Ooh, that's kind of thick. And you know when Lenny gets into it, he got the bass face. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Made my way through the crowd, and there he was, just thumping on the bass. And I have to say, you know, I've heard a lot of people play that song, but not quite like that. I mean, that really moved me. And from that point on, we really struck a friendship. I came to Berklee, we started playing together, and he was really like a mentor to me. And playing with Lenny as a drummer was like playing with another drummer because his time and his beat was so strong, and his downbeat was like, this is the downbeat. All that other stuff that you're doing, I don't know what that is, but this right here, this is it. You got to get with this. And he wasn't, you know, apologetic. He's like, man, you gotta get with this, Sean. I've been down, forgot more music than you've gotten to yet. You know, you gotta get down with this. He'd be right in there with me, pushing me. I was like, okay. And we had this long-standing argument about the beat for what's going on. We like argue about this 10 years. No, Lenny, this is the beat on. No, Sean, this is the beat on here because we played together all the time, and really he was right. Right. Eventually, he was right because he was a person that did his homework. He did due diligence. You know, we would teach all day, and I'd leave, and Lenny say, "Look, I got to work on a couple tunes," or he'd be reading a book. He was really committed to developing his mind and developing his musicianship. He was always transcribing something. Sometimes I come into the office on Saturdays, and Lenny would be in there. Oh yeah, I just got to learn. I'm working on some tunes. Really had like a high level of commitment to playing music and doing music, and I really had a great deal of respect for that contribution, and he really inspired me, really, I mean, just phenomenal cat. So I just want to say a few words out of respect for this person that I, I actually didn't expect to get emotional, but somebody who's contributed so much to my life as a musician, as a bass player, and as was alluded to earlier, I mean, he really had a sound that still resonates in my ear. That, you know, those of you who have heard that sound, it was a special gift. It was really a special sound. You knew it was Len. You knew it was him when he put that bass down. So I'm very thankful to have had that opportunity to share the stage with him, make music with him over the years. All right, so we'll be moving. George G3. Oh, he's right there. One of his prominent mentees.
I won't be before y'all too long, and if you've been to church before, then you know that's a lie. But that's okay, because this is a loving place. All right, so I just want to start off by saying thank you to the Berklee Ensemble Department, D. Scott, Sean Skeet, Ron Savage for having me here. And it's great to see the family. It's great to see everyone here just to honor this great man's legacy as just a fantastic bass player and as a great mentor to me. Man, just Lenny, just to say, I'm gonna try not to be too long. Lenny was a different kind of teacher at Berklee. Lenny was the teacher that he didn't give you technical advice. He didn't give you the things that you would get from a normal teacher at Berklee. At his heart, Lenny wanted to see who you were and have passion and love who you were. No matter who you were, no matter what you were going through, no matter how you looked, no matter what you did, no matter what your level was, he wanted to make sure that you were great at whatever you could do and do that strength to the best of your ability. Man, when I was here, my sophomore year, that was the toughest experience I think I've had at Berklee. And Berklee is a great institution. It is the greatest, I'll say, as my alum of this school and an alma mater. But you have to navigate your life. You have to navigate your personal brand, and you have to navigate along with that schoolwork. And that could be a lot to process coming out of high school. And even then, it's, you know, if something goes wrong here, something goes wrong there, it can totally mess up your whole line of work and your whole line of just focus. So he was just amazing at just understanding that and putting you in a comfort zone in class like the P-Funk Ensemble and making sure that you were able to just get through what you needed to get through and just focus and have fun in this crazy class, in this crazy environment of just a whole bunch of musical sharks, a whole bunch of crazy talented people. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget going on trips with him to Mississippi. I'll never forget his class. I'll never forget some of the things he told me. And Lenny's voice would be like, George, you need to listen to the music. He'd tell everybody that, just listen to the music. If you listen to the music, you'll be able to get it down and get it right there. And if you know Lenny, when you heard him play, his bass was thumping. You know, that bass was like, if you heard him playing, you knew it was Lenny because that bass was thumping all across the room. Oh, man, Lenny was that dude who just, he made you smile. He made sure that you were going to come out with a good experience when you met him. And he just he wanted everybody to be just comfortable and just loved. That's Lenny. He wanted everyone to feel love. He believed in you no matter what you were going through. And some of the things from like a student perspective, from a lot of other people who have been in the class and they reached out to me when I reached out to them to see if they wanted to say something on his behalf for them, was just, you know, Lenny was a pivotal teacher and a mentor. And again, just taught us to listen deeply to the music. Sometimes you don't need to play every single fill. Sometimes you don't need to play every single line to get a response. Sometimes it's all about the feeling. And he said this as well, like if you don't dance to it when you're playing, if no one dances to it or reacts to it, what are you playing? Well, I mean, no, I'm serious. Like if no one dances to it or if no one reacts to it, what are you really playing? All right. So I thought it was deep. Y'all over here laughing. All right. Thank you. Yeah, Lenny, another thing someone else said was Lenny Stallworth had a gentle spirit, had a soulful heart, and he mentored me, and this is the other person speaking too. He mentored him, made him feel like this was a home, because another brother that I'm talking through for him was from down south, so anybody from down south knows that home feeling about being down there and the love and the joy that you can have from being down south. Another thing was just Lenny made an impact of just selfless service. He tried his best to unify everybody, no matter what you were, no matter what you believed, no matter what you was going through. He was going to find a way to unify you. He was going to find a way to make sure this section worked, and especially in P-Funk where you have so many crazy things going around, and we're going to hear that tonight, and it's going to be pretty smacking. I'm excited. Man, so I'd say in closing, just try to find a way in the memory of Lenny to just be a selfless person. Try your best to love someone who you know is just going through something. And whether it's a smile, whether it's just a compliment, whether it's a hug, anything. That's what I gotta say. That's what Lenny was. Lenny was love. Also, I'd like to buy a hat. That's it. You got it. Thank you, brother.
So I just want to introduce the ensemble faculty that are going to make a musical tribute for Lenny. On drums, Mr. Mark Kohler. On bass, Winston McCoo. On flute, Fernando Brandao. On piano, Alonzo Harris, Zoe Harris, and on piano, Mark Copeland. And also a very special guest, a longtime friend of Lenny, kind of like when you saw one, you saw the other, and if you got the two of them together on a gig, you know it was gonna be a ridiculous time, Mr. Jeff Lockhart.
Okay. Give it up one more time for the ensemble department and Jeff Lockhart for the guitar department. That was Mark Kohler on drums, Fernando Brandao on flute, Mark Copeland on keys, Alonzo Harris on piano, Winston McCoo on bass, and Jeff Lockhart on guitar. While we switch over to P-Funk, y'all can start taking the stage and setting up. I'm going to share a memory with you all of Lenny, because how I met Lenny was over P-Funk specifically, so we connected through the funk. I met Lenny when I was a baby teacher. I was in my 20s. I was a new teacher. I was newly hired into the contemporary writing and production department, but I was adopted by the ensemble department. And I was teaching mostly hip hop, but I have been given the task of teaching P-Funk from from Dean Savage, but also the creator who had left the college, Dave Cowan. And I was very insecure. I knew about the hippity hops. And I loved P-Funk and I loved funk because my parents made me listen to all the samples. But I was very insecure about my ability to teach that class because I was a young teacher. And it was Lenny who really encouraged me and gave me the confidence to teach whatever I was given to teach, and in this case, it was the funk. And I would look up out the little window of our classroom and see him standing there doing it. And that let me know that I was doing my job right. And I would lean on him for advice on arrangements, and we would just talk about the funk. And oddly enough, when I left, I passed the baton to Lenny, even though I looked at him as a mentor. It was so weird that the baby's giving the sensei the baton, And now the baton is in the very capable hands of Tyrone Chase. This is the legacy of Lenny's P-Funk ensemble, the legacy of funk that is still existing at Berklee today. And I'm just so honored to be here before you to share in the memories of Lenny, his impact on the college, and to present to you a live example of Lenny's impact and continued legacy at Berklee College of Music. I present to you the P-Funk Ensemble directed by Tyrone Chase.
So I would be remiss if I didn't say a couple thank yous. Don't go too far, Danielle.
Play that keyboard.
That would be you, not me. So we've been planning this evening for quite some time, and I really want to acknowledge the assistant chair of the ensemble department, Danielle Scott, we call her Queen D, who has really put the energy into planning this evening. And along with her, the ensemble department program manager, Miss Barbara Gale back there. She's sort of the secret sauce in the ensemble department, keeps us running on time. And if you can't reach me, you get her, and then she'll reach me. So she's the one. And also Tracy Gibbs, who really put a lot of love into helping us plan this evening as well. So let's just acknowledge Tracy. And I do want to just wave at the ensemble, faculty that are here, to support that new Lenny very well. Y'all could just wave, it's okay. Just want to acknowledge that you're here, thank you. All right, on to some music.
Tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off. Let me hear it now. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. We got a real life was been going down, getting down. There's a whole lot of rhythm going around. Let me hear you sing a real life was been going down, getting down. There's a whole down. There's a whole lot of rhythm around. You got a real type of thing going down, getting down. There's a whole lot of rhythm around. Gotta give up the funk. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. We want the funk. Everybody sing it. Gotta have that funk. Let me hear you sing it. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. Da, 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 da. La, 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 la. We're gonna turn this mother out. We gotta turn this mother out. We gotta turn this mother out. Let me hear it, y'all. Gonna turn this mother out. I need to hear it. We gotta turn this mother out. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We want to tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Let me hear you say it. Roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Let me hear you say it. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the sucker. We got a party, y'all. We're gonna tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tell me, do we like to party, y'all? We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. Let me hear you party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. Thank you very much. We are the P-Funk Ensemble. And y'all need to free your mind so your ass will follow. Y'all gotta remember that. Free your mind. Say it with me, free your mind. And your ass will follow. We are a one nation under a groove. And we aren't gonna stop until you are with us united, alright?
So high, you can't get around it.
So low, you can't get under it.
So wide, you can't get around it.
You can't get under it.
This is a chance. This is a chance to dance your way out of demonstration. Just second.
This is a chance to dance our way out of our constrictions. We're gonna be freaking up and down the Half Alleyway. With the group our only guy, we shall all be removed. Are we ready, y'all? Ready or not, here we go.
Gassing down on the one we should believe. One nation under a groove. Dark down just for the funk of it. One nation, one on the move. That would just stop us now.
Feet don't bow now.
flashlight. Oh yeah, I said flashlight. Ha-da-da-dee, yeah. Ha-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ha-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ha-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ha-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da. I said flashlight, flashlight, flashlight. I said red light, red light, red light. I said neon light, oh, spotlight, spotlight, spotlight. Now I lay me down to sleep. I guess I'll go count the sheep. Oh, but I'll never dance. Oh yeah, come on, Antonio, take it to the top. Come on. Oh yeah. Most of all,
help him down the ball.
most of all,
Most of all,
help the ball.
help him down the ball.
Most of all, yeah.
Help the ball, help him down the ball.
Most of all,
Most of all, help the ball, help him down the
most of
ball.
all, say.
Most of all, help the ball, help him down the
Somebody help
ball.
him find the ball.
Most of all, help the ball, help him down the
Somebody help him
ball.
find the ball.
Most of all, help the ball, help him down the ball.
Oh, help him find.
Most
Everybody's got a little light under the sun. Oh, take me out. Do you feel the fun? Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming, for celebrating Lenny. Big thank you again to Tracy Gibbs, Barbara Gill, Dean Savage, Sean Skeet, and of course to Lenny's family. Thank you so much for joining us. Please take whatever food is left, and please have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Thank you, P-Funk Ensemble and Tyrone Chase, and all the performers of this evening. Thank you so much.